Oh. Damn. That was good. Turn around, say
Everybody
cheese.
say cheese.
3.
All right, there we go.
2, 1, cheese.
You ready to do this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got something that was so good.
You do?
Oh my gosh, yes, because I was just... Okay, so the verse is devote yourself to prayer, being watchful and thankful. Colossians 4:2. And so, oh my gosh, that's so good. So, watchful. When you're like being watchful, like you're looking for things, like you're being on alert, right? And I wrote down, prayer gives us a sixth sense. But this is what I was like, okay, so like a sixth sense to know things that other people don't know,
Yeah.
right? And so what came up for me, I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, it kind of reminded me of when I was in the hospital. And I felt like there was a lot of things that I knew that I shouldn't have known. Like,
Yeah.
and I was, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And I was like, it was a gut feeling, like a gut feeling. But then I just wrote down, it was a God feeling.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that really hit me. That was so good. Oh my God, it was literally a God feeling.
Dang. What was the feeling?
I don't know, it's just like you knew. Like you knew that you knew that you knew. Like there wasn't like, you didn't have doubt about knowing, like you just knew something. And I don't know, you can't really explain it.
Oh, yeah. Like doubt about knowing about that book the other day?
About what?
Knowing that book that you wrote down the other day?
No, because I doubted that. And I was like, why would I write something like that down? But the gut feel, I don't know. That's weird. I guess
that
I
makes
don't know.
sense. Like when you know something. Like I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The feeling.
But I like that gut feeling. A God,
God feeling. Dang. What else you write down?
Now I was like, I should write a book, God feeling. I was literally like, that's such a good title because it's like, it is a God feeling. It's not your gut, it's God. And so what else I wrote down? Oh my gosh, I thought this was also really cool. The Aramaic word for prayer is slotha, which means to set a trap.
Make it make sense, girl.
So prayers are like you're setting these traps, and basically when you pray about something, you bring it to your mind, and they talk about the reticular activating system. So like you're praying about it, so you're on the lookout, so you're like ready to catch what God is like has for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy that means to set a trap. So when you're praying, you're setting traps. Very interesting.
Yeah. Like, give me an example of like what that means to you.
Oh, I got a lot of examples. So I was thinking about it, and it's like, I always wonder why such great things happen to me when I read this devotional. And it's not that it's the devotion. I mean, well, it's because this devotional makes me write things down and get really specific, and I start focusing. Like when it says draw the circle, you're literally praying over these specific things. So now my mind is thinking about these things, and now I'm like searching for these things. So you're like setting a trap for like, now like, maybe I would have passed it up before because I wasn't thinking about it all the time, but now it's like I'm constantly looking for it. Like I know that you're going to answer this, God, or I know that you're going to show me something.
Yeah.
And so this devotional sparks things for me. And I feel like that's why things are like, every time I've done it, I'm like, oh wow, something great has come from it. It's because like I'm doing the work.
But what has come from it?
Like I feel like I get a lot more done because I'm focused.
I know, but what has come from it?
I think I did this devotional right when we were selling our house. Both times we sold our house, I went through this book and I prayed about it specifically. I know a lot of stuff. Like I even just wrote down, this is crazy because I was just looking at what I wrote down last time because I'm on day 11, so I went and looked at what I wrote down last day 11, and I wrote something about how I hope Aubrey loves the gym or something, like, and I hope that she makes friends. And it's crazy because I was thinking like a specific gym, but it wasn't like, and it just reminded me like, oh my gosh, when she went to the dance gym, she loved it. And it was like, I was thinking something, but like God was thinking something else. So like he answers in different ways. So that's why it's like you're supposed to have a prayer journal, because God's going to answer you, and if you can see what you pray, then you can like thank him for it. Because otherwise I feel like we pray all these prayers and it's like,
Yeah, but what if you don't have a prayer journal? I just think about old times. You think they walked around with a prayer journal? And he did some crazy things.
well, somebody wrote it down.
But like, do you think the ones that did it, do you pray, like, who was that wrote down Honey the Circle Maker? Do you think he had a prayer journal? And we know about his story, but do you think he had a prayer journal? He prayed.
Yeah. I guess his was so big that everybody knew about it.
Yeah, or I guess it's just.
But somebody did eventually write it down.
Yeah, that's like a testimony.
Yeah. I'm just saying I like it.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, you know how you talked about yesterday the protocols, and you have to do this to see that.
Oh yeah.
You're putting protocols on prayer. It's like you have to have a prayer journal to see this. It's like, you just talked about protocols, so do you? What if you don't have one?
No, you don't have to. I just like it because
yes,
I don't even always use it. I only use it when I read the book.
It's two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's good in both sides. It's amazing to have it because you can look back and say, I remember when God did this. Like, I have books. When I started like really doing my devotionals, I just write every morning, my quiet time. So it's good to look back and see where you were at that time and how you was feeling, your mindset. You can look back and see all that and see where God has brought you. But at the same time, I also have times where I don't have those prayer journals, and I can still look back and remember, because I remember where I was, what I needed, and what God did for me that time. So for me, it's like going back to what you just stated the other day. It's like you don't need a protocol. The journal is amazing because you can look back physically. You can pass that on to people. You can make books out of that. You can make devotion out of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't think when God does something for you, you forget it, because like I said before, same thing in marriage. When what you went through, we have history because we experienced that together. So when you go through things with God, you have history. You and God experienced that together. So I don't think you would forget it. So I don't want to make people feel like they have to have a prayer journal in order for God to answer their prayers. I think it just have to be intentional. Which when you sit in that trap, like going back to the hunters, like, when you go hunting, you know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, you bring all your equipment, you bring everything that you need. You set traps with the intention of catching something. When you're praying, like you said, I get that standpoint when you talk about setting traps of prayer. Like, you're praying with the intentions of getting something specific.
Yeah.
So, like, you're looking for that specific thing. Like, you don't go bear hunting looking for squirrels.
Yeah. That just reminded me of that when the prayer fleece. Like, they're literally setting a trap for God.
And
like,
I want you to do this, like,
yeah, specifically.
He wanted to remove all doubt. So he was like, I want you to do this specific thing so I know that this is from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. For sure. What else you got, girl?
Yeah, the last thing I wrote is, I wrote that God is my bestie because he tells me secrets. So that's kind of what I got from that, is like, when you spend that time in prayer, you do get visions and a sixth sense. Like, that is my gift, and I know that if I spend time with him, I see things. Like, I have visions of like, or like I get like this feeling. It's like, and so that's something that I feel like him and I share. So like, if I'm with him, he's my bestie. He's gonna tell me things. Like, he's gonna share things with me, and so that's what a best friend does. They share with each other.
That's good. I think it goes back to what you said the other day. It's like, there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
That Solomon wrote. And that just goes to, like, he reveals those things to you. He reveals the mysteries of earth because you're setting that trap. You're spending that time with him. So he's taking you on a hunt. And he's like, I know you're looking for this, but I'm going to show you this over here.
Yeah.
I know you're in this place right here, but if you set up camp over here, then you have a better view of this.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you said, when he gives you those visions, he's giving you a clear vision.
Yeah.
Like, because your vision can be clouded by what's in front of you, because what's in front of you is blocking your view for what you're going after.
Yeah.
So when you walk with him, he's like, okay, talk about ordering the steps. Okay, slide a little bit over here. Do this right here. Pivot here. Shift here. And then you can see clear what you're trying to go after. So I think it just, even with us in the season that we're in, it's easy to get confused about life and about all the crazy things that's going on. But when you get intentional about what you want to do, like, people may not realize we're sitting here having this conversation, going through our devotion, because we decided, like, there's no way we can get through this day without filling ourselves up. But at the same time, our girls are right here doing what they do every single morning. And usually you can kind of get stressed out and go run and hide in the bathroom. It's like, you know what? That's a part of life. It's going to happen. But at the same time, but when you get intentional and specific about what you want to do, you can sit down and not saying that we're blocking them out, but we can sit down and have an intentional conversation because we know what we want to accomplish. We know what we're trying to do. So I think that's the same thing with life. A lot of people make and use that as an excuse not to do things when it's like, no, that's just a part of life. How can you shift? How can you do these things in the midst of those things and still see that growth? And I think sometimes when we try to go after something, we can let that hold us back, because kids can be dream killers. It's like let's just be honest. Like, we all got dreams of what we want to do, and then kids come along and all of a sudden that dream is killed. But at the same time, they can also be dream launchers. What you talked about, in the amount of like twin moms, since we have twins, you do all the research, and you talk about so many things have been created because women had twins and they decided there was a problem that needed a solution, and they came up with those solutions. So like I said, they can be dream killers, but they can also be dream launchers because they're gonna
they can
inspire
either be your
you.
Motivation.
Yes,
or
your excuse.
Or your excuse.
Yeah, so sometimes you can get clouded by that, but when you get intentional and you really start to understand that just all a part of life. Like, God has a blueprint for your life, and that's part of our blueprint. So we have to understand, like, how can we work that in to make it work, not just for us, but make it work for the people that we've been called to serve. Make it work for the life that God is calling us to live. So I think it just comes with just being in alignment. And once you do that, you start to like create more of the life that you want, and you start to do things that outside of the box for you. Because going back to, you didn't want to write down that book, but you had some pretty good ideas that you came up with. I won't go into it now, but just because you wrote that one specific thing down, like I said, like, God is watering those seeds, and you don't have to know how or what He's gonna do, but when you get intentional and you're sitting in His presence, He's gonna reveal those things with you. It's not like He's keeping secrets from us. He wants us to spend time with Him so that He can reveal those things, and He's been revealing some good stuff, and I'm excited to see what else He's gonna share with His bestie over there.
Me too.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I was gonna say, they could be your reason that you need to sit down and have some.
Listen.
This is because you gotta get filled up, because
Yeah.
without you drained. I feel like I am a much better mother when I do sit down.
Yeah, it's taking time to do what you need. Like, you got to get yourself together before you try to keep them together. Like,
I mean, I still lose it, but
listen.
like, I'm definitely.
That's part of life.
Yeah.
I don't listen. I'm gonna sit down, do my devotion, drink my coffee. They gonna cry. It ain't gonna last long. They know how to get up, get what they need done. They gonna be just fine. And I think you learning that now, because you just been sitting, reading the devotional, and they just still doing what they do. They
No,
gonna
because they
come.
bother me less when I'm sitting at the table.
Yeah.
But they don't bother you.
Because
They
I
come
said
to mom.
boundaries. You have no boundaries with them, and you're just like, they come, do this, you do that. And I'm like, no, Dad's not gonna do that right now. I don't say go as mom. I say you either wait or you don't want it that bad. And most likely, they just come to you because they know mom is gonna say, yeah, she's gonna do this. But lately, they have not. Prime example, they have not been doing it because you've been setting those boundaries for them, which is an amazing thing to see. Daddy and mom, you're right. All right, you got anything else?
No, I don't have anything.
That was a good talk this morning, girl.
Yeah, that was
I finished
good.
my coffee. I need some. Give me some more of that. I ain't even talk about my devotional.
What did you write down?
Yours was good.
Yeah, but you didn't say what you wrote down.
I didn't really write anything down.
What did you get out of it?
So this was like when he talked about sometimes you have to go through trials in order for God to get you where you need to go. He talked about diamonds, and he talked about iron. He said diamonds, you see the physical proof. Iron, you don't see the proof. Iron have to withstand. And he talked about there's no way that, going back to the Bible, there's no way that Joseph could have been the governor without being the prisoner first. So he had to go through everything that he went through in order to get to that position, because in that position is where he had favor in Potiphar's eyes. So sometimes we try to pray away our trials and our tribulations when that's the very thing that's going to springboard us into the plans and the purposes that God has for us. So many times
so true.
you don't need to worry about being the gold, or you don't need to worry about being the diamond. Sometimes you just have to be the iron. That means that you're gonna withstand everything that's gonna come to pass, but there's still purpose and there's still use for you in the season and everything that God has for you. So just withstanding the trials, understanding like everybody's not a diamond, everybody's not gold, everybody's not iron. You're built different from every single person, and God created you for a specific reason. And for that reason, I can't tell you what that is, but through your trials and your tribulations, and going back to your prayer journal or just remembering what He's done in the past, He's gonna reveal to you as you spend that time with Him what He's created you to do and how He's created you. So for me, it was just understanding, like, just withstand everything that you're going through. Understand it's not always about the physical proof of that, but what He's built within you. Because I think about your trial and what you went through. Man, people see you today and they can't see that, but you can't undo everything that you went through and what it has made of you because of that. So that's what I got from my devotion.
It's so good. Oh my gosh, yours was so good.
Well, yours was good too. It's just different. It's not a comparison.
I know.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Okay, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for us, ain't it? Good talk this morning, girl.
Okay, good talk.
Yeah.
Turn around, say
Everybody
cheese.
say cheese.
Three.
All right, there we go.